We are here with Mr. Scott Schmidt, Superintendent of Northridge Local Schools, and we're here to answer some questions that have been posted on social media. So we'll just get started with question number one. What has changed since November on the levy for May?
Yeah, so overall the project is still the same. We're working at passing a bond issue and earned income to be able to build a new elementary on the main campus, but the funding is slightly different. The bond issue is for 2.8 mils, down from 2.9 mils previously, and then the other piece is around the earned income. In the fall, we were asking for 0.75%, and now we're asking for 0.5% of earned income. And the way we're able to do that is instead of doing a large project at the middle school and high school all at once, we're using a pay-as-you-go. Instead of borrowing money up front, we are doing projects as funding comes in, which saves the taxpayers money.
Okay. Number two, if the levy passes in May, will we have enough money to build and operate the schools?
Yes, absolutely. When the levy passes in May, we will have the money in place to be able to build the new elementary building and do needed maintenance and repairs at the middle school and high school. And then our 5-year financial forecast shows that we are solid through 2020. So we will definitely have enough money to operate the new school.
Okay. There's been talk of a upcoming renewal operating levy. Will taxes rise with the renewal?
So we have what's called an emergency levy that is renewed every 5 years. And so in 2019 will be that 5th year. It was originally passed in 2009 and then again in 2014. And so we will be asking for the renewal in 2019, but it's no new taxes. It's just renewing what we're currently collecting, so it will not increase your taxes.
Okay, number 4, are we accepting state funding, and will we get state funding?
So the state funding question, I'll try to answer as clearly as possible, but there are a lot of requirements around that. So we did apply for some state funding, found that we qualified for a little bit less than 1.1 million. However, there were many requirements that we had to meet in order to use that money, and a lot of the requirements and stipulations around that actually outweighed and cost the district more than what we would receive from the state. And so we were in the process of determining whether that was the right next step or not when there was information about a brand new program that came out. And so I will be updating the board and working on application for that new program. We're expected to receive $1 million from that alternative funding piece, and there are no state requirements attached to it in order to use it.
Okay, so even if the levy passes, we will still ask for this state funding with this special scenario or a special program. But how will that type of money be spent?
So the money that we would get from the state would be spent on the new elementary building. Currently, the bond issue at 2.8 mils will collect $15.5 million. The budget for the new elementary building is $16.5 million, which is still below the state average. And the original plan was to use some of the permanent improvement money over the next 3 years to pay for the building. And now we will be able, with the receiving state money, be able to pay for the building with the state money, which frees up additional tax dollars to continue with permanent improvements at the middle school and high school.
Okay. Last question. Have we found a viable use for the elementary school in Alex?
You know, there's been lots of questions about the elementary school in Alexandria and what are we going to do with that, and have really been working to engage the community. And so what I've been sharing with different people who have come up with lots of different ideas is that our first priority is to get the levy passed so that we know we get to build the new building, and then we will definitely get to work on how do we best use that to benefit the community in the future.
Okay, that's all of our questions. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt, for taking the time to speak with us. And as always, if there's anybody has any questions about the upcoming levy and the bond, please feel free to contact the district office or go to one of the social media sites, Pride in Northridge, for example, or northridgelevy.org for additional information. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.